So I'm Bilal Malas, head of client success and partner at Lux Sales Consulting. Today I'm joined with Kyle, who's a financial advisor at Capital Financial Solutions. And Kyle, before joining our SLS framework, was relying on some LinkedIn automation tools and some various marketing strategies. But it was generating a lot of conversations, but not a lot of actual discovery calls and meetings with ideal clients. And so that's what our mandate was. We started working together a couple months ago. Right now, we're generating consistent appointments with engineers, which is who are ideal clients for Kyle. And we're talking about closing his first deal recently, a $250,000 AUM lead. And that's amazing on that end. And we're going to talk about how the journey was, and more importantly, the amazing value that Kyle brings to his clients because of his independence as a financial advisor and the amazing work he does in the industry. So Kyle, we'll just start with some quick introductions. Your name, where you're from, and what is it that you specialize in, who you help, and how you help them.
Sure. My name is Kyle Murphy. I currently live in Henrico, or Richmond, Virginia, which most people know as the capital of Virginia. And I'm a financial advisor, but I kind of specialize more on the asset management side, more active asset management, which as we sit here today, the NASDAQ's down 3%. So that's why I specialize in what I do, to try to help people out, to try to not have heartburn during times like these.
Absolutely. And your specialty is engineers, correct? Is that the niche?
Yeah, sorry. My specialty is engineers. The reason why is I'm analytical, very similar to them. And I also grew up in a family of engineers. So I kind of know how they think, what they try to answer their questions before they ask them. So you kind of hit all the points that they generally speaking want to discuss before you get into everything.
Awesome. And then before working together, you had working with your assistant closely, right, to solve that marketing piece, right? You're investing into some Alfred, for example, that automation tool.
Right.
You were using different strategies, and you really wanted to build a team to really focus on sales, and you just didn't have that process. It was kind of all over the place.
Right.
And I just want to talk about kind of how why you felt like you were all over the place and it wasn't generating the appointment. So just before the SLS framework, what you were looking to, what kind of results you're getting before joining the SLS framework, being all over the place. I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, I really wasn't getting any net results. I was on LinkedIn. I was trying to do a Facebook page, and my assistant, she's more on the marketing side. I'm again more analytical. So marketing has never really, honestly, been my strong suit. But we were really, we were getting connections on LinkedIn, but really couldn't generate any activity, any calls, any responses, anything like that, because we really didn't have a system in place to respond to people, respond back to people, or touch people, for lack of better words.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you for sharing that, and thankfully we were able to hop on a call. We were able to you had your assistant Kim with us, was amazing. Was there on the call, and we were able to quickly pinpoint the problem and solve it. Actually, you joined, and now you have a pipeline and you have a CRM
Right.
being filled with ideal clients. You can generate revenue at will, literally whenever you want more appointments. You just send some emails, do some dials, and it's with engineers, which is amazing.
Right.
And I'd love to talk a little bit more about that. And more importantly, I want to talk also about the fact that you're independent, and the fact that you didn't necessarily, so you join, now you have the resources. Can you talk about more about now how you feel with having the sales process and being able to execute on your genius, right? Because just like we initially spoke about, the reason why we want you to get in front of your ideal clients is because you bring them so much value. And so being independent, and we don't necessarily like some of the work that some of those wirehouses they achieve. I mean, tell us more about it, because that's true. We're able to equip the independent financial advisors. You don't have as much sales resources on the front end. I mean, how does that feel after joining the SLS framework, being able to kind of just bring the value to our ideal clients and being able to get in front of them?
Well, yeah, I mean, I could actually sit here and talk for hours about the differences between being independent and being at a larger firm. I was at a larger firm for quite a while, longer than I should have been. And there's always that pressure to sell their products. There's always that pressure to do what they want you to do, which honestly, and I'm friends with some people that are pretty high up at other firms. It's to generate money for the companies. It's not honestly what's in best interest of the client. That's not all the time, but there's a lot of that going around, unfortunately, in the industry. I always tell engineers, and one of the things they appreciate is I love what I do. I love helping people, but I really don't like my industry, quite frankly. Not in total, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on that I really don't like. So, and allowing me to get in front of these guys or gals, these engineers, I really feel like I'm able to help them out, and some of them have actually physically reached out to me by phone call, a couple of them in the last week, because they were really just feeling me out, because they've dealt with other engineers. The guy that I moved over some money had a horrible experience, honestly, rightfully so, with another advisor that was at a bigger firm. And, they're just throwing them in allocation models, not managing the money, not spending the hours. I usually spend an hour or 2 hours at least every night after my kids go to bed, researching, analyzing, reading. And it takes time. And a lot of advisors don't have the mindset to do that and are really just out for the next sale or next person. So,
yeah, and actually, I appreciate you for sharing that. And I guess, and that's the thing, you're able to, when people just give you a cold call out of the blue, because again, your profile is optimized in a way that, hey, I help engineers. I specialize in only helping engineers with obviously the solutions that you bring. And then they're able to give you a quick call just to gauge you. What do you feel like, your ideal clients, the engineers, what do you feel they're getting out of you that they're not finding elsewhere? Or, or what if they are, being served elsewhere, what do you feel like they can relate to and want to maybe either switch over with you and work with you more than kind of other advisors?
I mean, most of the folks that have reached out to me that I've talked to from the engineering field, they're analytical enough to understand that, there are opportunities out there. Obviously anybody can do not anybody, but a lot of people can do a plan. We all have in the industry very similar planning software. Simplistic plans really don't take that much time if you know what you're doing. But from an asset management standpoint, I actually have other advisors who have physically told me that you can't beat the market long term. And I'm not trying to time the market. That's not what I'm trying to do. I mean, obviously we can trade options and hedge and stuff like that. But to sit there and tell me as an advisor that you can't beat the market, that almost tells me that your business is worthless, because anybody can go to Vanguard and track a benchmark and not get really charged for it. So a lot of these advisors realize that, and they want somebody who can kind of help them to manage the ups and downs, kind of flatten that out as much as humanly possible, and to kind of give them the no nonsense, no fluff, I call it fluff, of what's really going on in the economy and the market, and how we can get them going in the correct direction and feel like that I'm actually bringing value. And quite frankly, I tell them, if I'm not paying for myself after a couple of years or a year, then you're more than welcome to leave. And they kind of appreciate that straightforwardness and bluntness, quite frankly.
Yeah,
Because that's what I would expect if I was them.
absolutely. And I think that's really why we were so happy to add you to our SLS framework community, is because we're able to help, I give you a platform to constantly and predictably get in front of your ideal clients. And, I think that's the beauty of it, is we're able to put you in front and bring value to those engineers. And I'm happy that we're able to do that. Kyle, it was a pleasure to have spoken to you today.
Absolutely appreciate it.